Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of my Let's Learn series for Galciv 3. My name's Kearon, here with eXplanation. Today we're going to talk about the Governing tab, the Ideology tree a bit, and Diplomacy. And especially with Diplomacy, keep in mind a little bit might change before launch, but I don't think so. And I'll get to kind of my complaint with that when we get there. Let's start with the Governing tab though. So there's a lot here that's useful. First off, you recognize this from your planets, right? Now, by default, this will actually be like this. This is considered your civilian levels of production. So right here I have my world. It's focused just for production. If I go use civilian production levels, boom. Because by default, it's let's treat everything equally. Value everything equally. Now, the Governing tab, if I change this, let's just focus down here and let's focus completely on social. Hit done. Come here. Now if I hit use civilian production levels, it's right there. Because I have that checked, it will follow what I set there. Normally I probably wouldn't have that checked, so it'd be like here, click that, boom, moves it to where it is. So that's useful because you maybe don't always want the default production levels to be right in the middle. So if you set that when you colonize a new planet, for example, if you like to just focus on production, on manufacturing, excuse me, so you get those first few buildings out quickly, set it there. That's your default. And every time you colonize a planet, it should do that. I guess I haven't extensively bug tested it, but it does seem to work when I've used it. So that's useful. So every time you colonize a planet, you don't have to go through and set that. Now let's look at colonies. So this is a tab like you probably noticed from most 4X games. Has the planet class, the population, influence, approval, research, net income, and manufacturing. You can sort them by this, by name. I actually a lot of times will put like R for research or M for manufacturing stuff with my planets, because once you start getting this many, it's hard for me to keep track of what I want to focus on with a planet in regards to what it's making. So this is useful. Nothing new. I'll leave it there. If you're familiar with 4X games, you're familiar with knowing how this can be useful and basically filtering. Oh, what's my biggest manufacturing planet or research whatnot. Commands are kind of cool. Since this game has the potential to just basically have massive maps that are just ginormous. You can give blanket commands to everybody. So if we have ships of type survey and we want them all to go to there, you can update it and all my survey ships should head there. If I want all these ships to upgrade to something, likewise. Ships going somewhere can go somewhere else. Basically, it's just a way to give mass commands. Let me think. Reassign building. I don't think there's a whole lot more there. It's just if you find yourself doing the same action with the same kind of planets or with shipyards, you want them all to build one ship, or you have a bunch of one kind of ship and you need them all to go somewhere else, you can do that. You can also set rally points, like right there. So we have a rally point, govern commands of type survey, go to rally point, there. Boom. So now all my survey ships are going to factor in there. And you can change the rally point name right there. Somewhere useful. I don't use that a ton. I probably should. On big maps, it's more useful than others. So, but that is there for you to experiment with and hopefully make your life easier on those big maps especially. So here we have trade routes. It shows the origin, the destination, and then the type. So if you look right here, this is making 41 a turn. It's a trade capital. It's a building I have that doubles it, 100%. Got a trade post for 10%. Since I initiated it, I get a little bonus. The length adds some by default. The age of the trade route affects it too. So this is a younger trade route, so it's only 10.3. This is older, so it's 14.9. And then the planet has a default trade income. you can build buildings to buff it. So obviously my trade capital and my trade post are 110% bonus to whatever that value is, which is really helpful. And over here shows how many trade routes you have. When you start the game, it'll be 0 of 0. As you're going though, right now 1 of 4 means I can have 4. I have 1 extra one left because I have 3 right now. This will also show if, I guess other people, I was going to say opponents, if the AI or other players have trade routes with you, those will show up here and you'll benefit. Trade routes, use them once you get the tech. They're a really great way to make money, and you don't have to specialize a planet into just producing money, so it's free money. And then here we have our timeline. This is your typical graphs. Okay, economic power, military power. This shows the race associated with the color. Last turn, so you can look at last 5 turns. There hasn't been a lot of change. In military power, the Kearon are still up there. I'm short name. Where am I? Right there, maybe? I don't know. It's actually kind of hard to read there. These again, it's kind of like the colony screen. If you're familiar with this, it's nice to have a real-time feedback on where people are. So that's the governing tab. Use it often, and you will succeed. No, really though, it's pretty useful. Let's jump over to the ideology tree. So you got the 3 kinds. Right now I have 30 points to spend for the benevolent tree, but I can't grab anything because I need 35 points for it. I grabbed this ideology trait, which opened this one, which I picked. Now when I have 35, I'll be able to pick that one, that one, that one, or that one. So if you get all the way over, the best are obviously over here, like adding 5 research to every colony. That's just research always, and then you get some free tech research points, so that's pretty useful. This one, for example, outreach, I start with a colony ship, works up to I get a planet. You have pragmatic and malevolent. I'll let you guys go through these. Just wanted to explain how that works. You get most of your ideology points to spend from colonization events and galactic events. But it is important to realize, so like this building right here I'm going for, or into the benevolent tree, it would be this. So a citadel of revenue grants a malevolent ideology point every 5 turns. So you want to get whatever ideology trait that allows you to build buildings to kind of passively generate points so you can continue the momentum. Otherwise, late game, it could get to the point where you stagnate and you kind of aren't getting more ideology traits. And these can be really useful. There's some really good bonuses in here. And as much as it might sound silly, you can go malevolent and benevolent. You can be super pacifist while at the same time crushing your enemies. It's just up to you where you can use your points. So that's the ideology tree. You'll be prompted there when you have enough to spend. But look at that, strategize with that, and plan early kind of what strategy you want to use, and it'll benefit you. So let's jump over to diplomacy, the final tab. So I have quite a few fellow civilizations here. Right now I can look at them all. I'm always in the center. If I look at just majors, these are just the major civilizations. And if you notice, that shows all. This just shows with me. We'll leave it on me. So if you want to see other people's interactions, click show all. By default though, you're in the middle. Gray is neutral. These are the neutral planets. These are also the neutral planets. There's no green because I'm not allied with anyone, but I am trading with a few people. Is anyone at war? No. If we look at miners, these are little guys. They play a role. You can trade with them and stuff. They're never going to expand or get super powerful. So do all civilizations. Here we go. So you see some people are at war with others, but fortunately not me. So it's kind of how you make you make sense of this kind of complicated looking thing. I like to filter it by majors or minors depending on who I'm interacting with. And then over here you notice the civilization power. This is just a factor of, I think, how many planets you have, your military and stuff. So as you notice, there's someone who's actually significantly stronger than me. If you mouse over people, you see that they're how happy or unhappy they are with you. So the Iconians are pretty happy. There's some pluses. These guys are furious because we got 3 pluses and like 10 minuses. So they're not very happy. If we look at, is there a neutral one? So here's a neutral. I have 6 pluses, 6 minuses. So basically, there's some things that improve my diplomacy skill or they agree with me with, and there's some things that they don't like about me. So that's how it is. They're neutral. So the more pluses, the more friendly. The more minuses, the less friendly they are. Now over here, you also kind of see your power. Right now, I'm selected me as custom faction I made up later on, the American Reclamation. So I'm 4th overall. Most population, most economic power, 10th militarily, 2nd tech. Yeah, you can read. So that ranks them. If you click report, you see the different bonuses they have. Or if you click on someone else, you click report, you can see their bonuses, their diplomacy, and then click speak to. That's how you're going to actually conduct diplomacy. So you can, let's trade. So you can give anything. One thing, if I want ion drive, and I say I'm going to give you tech pod hive offer, they'll actually accept that. Let's undercut them then. We'll just give you that many credits. They're like, nah, that's not good enough for me. By default, it's kind of nice. The computer will show you what they want. So if I was just to do money, whatever this initial number that pops up, that's what they kind of want for the trade to work. Now if I were to do this, they would want a lot more money. Or if I offset that with some trade, it's actually still quite a bit of money. They don't seem to be valuing my tech at all. That's how you conduct tech. Not tech trades, just trades in general. This is you. This is them. What you have to offer, what they have to offer. And this just basically means it's for 50 turns unless you cancel it. So you're going to trade in this resource or the strategic resource or have this treaty for this long. My biggest beef with this, and be aware of it, because otherwise you might be like, wait, what's going on? Well, one, you have to hit 0 to take money off, which is annoying to type that in. But more so, all the treaties are linked to tech. So if I were to say, hey, let's do a non-aggression pact, that's associated with a tech that I researched. So I can offer it, but he can't. If you do exploration treaty, on the other hand, oh crap, wrong thing. There we go. So I would be getting that. He would be getting that. And he's like, it's not weight enough. But if I want to do non-aggression pact, he just takes it as a gift because he can't offer it. So don't naively think, because this is here, that you're both getting it. If I did a non-aggression pact, he's all happy at me. But if, that's in diplomacy. If we go to the treaty details, I have a non-aggression pact, and I gain nothing at all. I could break that treaty. You can't break payments, like open borders and stuff. But I could break a treaty. This shows how long it's going. So that's really unfortunate that, like, I understand that diplomacy options being tied to tech, it's not anything new, but the AI just doesn't seem to value it. So it's almost like you have to gift them tech if you want them to do diplomacy. Then finally, there's United Planets. Basically, when enough people meet everyone else in the galaxy, think of this like the UN or something, I guess, of space. So the UP details show what resolutions are currently passed, and then you see the percentage of the votes. Next meeting, percentage of the votes. Now this is valued by your population. So the more people you have, the higher your vote. I think that's 1% higher than it showed at the other page. Maybe not. So keep that in mind when you're voting. There's not really any way to get other people to vote for you or to buy their votes or stuff. hopefully stuff like that will come in future updates. But for now, this is how strong you are. So how much weight you carry in the galaxy. And that's pretty much it. So that's diplomacy, a little bit on the ideology and the governing tab. Again, hope this is useful. You'll probably be using all these a lot. Minus victory, this just to give you updates on how close you are to something. But don't hesitate to use these. But I'll leave it at that. As always, hope this is useful. Please ask any questions that I was unclear on that you might still have in comments. Try to pay attention to those and get back to those. But by now, I mean, this is the 3rd episode. You should have a pretty good grasp of how to do things. So just get in there and play around with it. And go enjoy the game. It's pretty fun. It's not perfect, but there's a lot to love there. So with that, thank you guys. Enjoy Gal Civ 3, and thank you for watching. Catch you next time.